Hello and welcome back to Studio 311. I'm your host, Bo Sheridan, and today we are joined by Katy Datz, Vice President of External Relations at Omicron Delta Kappa here in Lexington. Katy, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So, Katy, first off, could you just explain a little bit about what ODK is and sort of how it was founded?
Sure. So ODK is a National Leadership Honor Society, and we were founded here at WNL in 1914, actually right in Reed Hall, by 15 faculty and staff members who got together with students and saw a need to recognize leadership on campus beyond just scholars. They wanted to recognize students who were leaders on campus in 5 phases, the 5 phases of campus life that they defined as scholarship, athletics, campus service, campus or community service, arts, and then communications.
Very cool. And so could you just describe a little bit about what your role is at ODK?
Sure. So my job at ODK is I serve as the Vice President for External Relations, which you just said. Yes. In that capacity, I oversee all of our fundraising, all of our stewardship and donor relations. I serve as Secretary to our Board of Trustees, and then I oversee all of our communications. So that includes our Circle magazine, which we produce 3 times a year, and it features member profiles and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And so you were the first ever to lead a comprehensive campaign with ODK. Could you just explain a little bit about what that was exactly?
Yeah, of course. So ODK was founded in 1914, of course, and we were a little late to the fundraising game. We didn't really start fundraising until, this is our first comprehensive campaign. But we saw a need right now to raise some money to build our endowment, to provide some student programming, scholarships, grants, that sort of thing, to introduce some new leadership opportunities, to do some preservation to our headquarters, and then to endow some future planned gifts so that ODK can continue in the capacity that we are right now. Prior to this comprehensive campaign, we raised some money to pay for the building. So ODK was founded here, but our first headquarters was actually in Lexington, Kentucky, which still confuses people to this day. We still get mail in Lexington, Kentucky instead of Lexington, Virginia. But President Ruscio was on our board. Washington Lee's President Ruscio was on ODK's national board at the time that ODK was looking to relocate, and said, why don't you come home to Lexington? We'd love to have you home. And we have just the building for you. So we purchased the building and moved here in 2010. And we did a little mini campaign to pay for the building.
Got it. And so the building is a train station, is that right?
Yeah, that is right.
And so what was sort of the thought process behind moving into a train station exactly?
I think it was pretty simple. I think really we just saw, President Ruscio said, we have this great building for you, come on in. And that was that. It is really neat to be a part of that building. So it was built in 1883, and it's just adjacent to campus behind the Linfest Center. So it's nice to be a part of WNL and the WNL community. We have a great relationship with Washington and Lee, and the building suits us very well. It's nice to have parking. It's nice to be right in downtown Lexington. It is a bit of a challenge when we have to travel to see people. It's a nice drive to DC in some places, but flying can be a bit of a challenge.
Right. So tell me about some of ODK's newest charters. Have you sort of gained any new charters recently, or?
Yeah. So last year we chartered 5 schools. We call our chapters circles, because ODK is founded on the concept of circles, and so we chartered 5 last year. The one that I'm excited about this year is Millersville University, and that actually spawned from a WNL guy. So the former provost Daniel Wubaugh is now the president of Millersville University, and I think when he left WNL, he decided, I think if we go to Millersville, we should start a chapter of ODK here. I think he saw what a strong connection ODK has on Washington Lee's campus, and wanted to have that same level of recognition and honor at Millersville. So we'll actually charter there in December.
Okay. And so switching gears a little bit, what all goes into sort of your national leadership conference, one of the things that ODK prides itself on?
Yes, so that actually, one of our national leadership conference is one of our signature programs and things that we offer to our students. 2020 will be our first year of hosting an annual conference. Prior to that, we actually hosted it every other year, and we had a little more focus on governance we actually called it a convention rather than a conference. And so we're shifting the focus of this particular program this year with the annual conference to be more focused on leadership development. And so we have generally 5 keynote speakers representing those 5 phases of campus life that I talked about a little bit: athletics, communications, arts, service, and scholarship. So we have 5 speakers. We also have 4 different tracks: leadership development, professional development, member engagement, and circle operations, so that our students and our faculty advisors can really participate in whatever tracks they want to participate in and gain the most that they can. And then we try to incorporate a little bit of fun. 2 years ago we were in Nashville, so we sent everybody downtown with cowboy boots on to dance and boogie, and then come back and learn more the next day. This year we'll be in Lexington, Kentucky, hosted by the University of Kentucky.
Great, that sounds awesome. So tell me a little bit about the Stone Ethical Leadership Challenge that you guys have initiated.
Yeah, so the Stone Ethical Leadership Challenge is one of the components of the comprehensive campaign that we talked about. Jeff and Linda Stone are Auburn initiates and wanted to provide our students with an opportunity to really engage in challenging conversations and to explore different scenarios that would encourage them to think ethically and to really think wholeheartedly about what a decision that a leader might be faced with. So one of the scenarios that we use is a trolley example, and the idea is the trolley's going down the track. There are 5 people that are working on the track, and so if you go straight and the brakes don't work on our trolley, you'll hit these 5 people. But if you veer to the right on this other path, you'll only hit 1 person. So when you're faced with that situation, what choice do you make? Do you hit the 5 people, or do you hit the 1 person? And it's not an easy decision. And so we encourage our students to think a little bit about that. What are the ethics? What are the morals in this decision? They make some decisions. They talk about why they've chosen the path that they've chosen. And then we throw in the 5 people to the left are actually convicted criminals who are facing life sentences for murder, rape, etc. And the person to the right is a father of a newborn who's the sole provider for his family. So does your decision change, or does it stay the same, and why? And so we encourage our students to have conversations like that, collaboratively thinking, and really being very thoughtful and methodical about their decisions. So that can take place on campus. We have a variety of information and materials that we train our students and our faculty members on campus to talk about, and it can be a full day or a half day, whatever works best for the campus, but it gives an opportunity to have real impactful leadership conversations.
Got it. And so you've been at ODK for about 4 years now, correct?
Yes.
So what have you sort of seen change in those 4 years at ODK, and then to even further that, what do you see for some of ODK's future projects as well?
Absolutely. So in the 4 years that I've been there, one of the biggest things that's impacted me is we're in the middle of a comprehensive campaign. Our goal is $5 million. We've raised $3.2 million to date, which is great. As a result of that campaign, we've seen more scholarships, more grant opportunities, more leadership development opportunities, like the Stone Challenge for our members, and so that's really exciting. And that also touches on the future of the organization as well, because we're hoping to add more scholarships and increase the number of leadership opportunities. The other thing that's happened for ODK as an organization that we saw as a part of this campaign, we were governed by 2 separate boards, a society and then a separate foundation to raise money for the society. And this year we underwent a merger where we combined both of those boards. It makes a lot more sense fiscally for our organization. We save a bit of money. We have one solid board that is comprised of both members, both students, faculty and staff, donors, et cetera. And so I think that'll be really good for our organization. And that was a pretty big undertaking for the organization to merge into one board. That allows us to do less of the governance at our upcoming conferences and do more leadership development. I think we'll continue to see the organization grow. Right now we're at about 300 schools. We hope to grow that, of course, and we initiate about 8,000 members a year, and we're always looking to initiate more members every year.
Well, it sounds like a really exciting time at ODK.
Absolutely.
Katy Datz, thank you so much for joining me, and tune back into Studio 311 for more next time.